Hello and welcome to the Fulham 10K race number 11 of 12 already this year of the Top Flight series. Just before the finale, which is next month at Ribble Valley, the big race indeed of the year. Now, I'm Cameron Boyack. Unfortunately, Big Red, aka Rich Morell, is not here today to join us in the studio. It's just a bit of a shame, really. I'm Cameron Boyack, like I said. I'm an international athlete over 1,500 meters. And I'll be bringing you everything that we're going to be hosting today at the Top Flight series in Fulham. So just to emphasise here what is at stake today, we've got 15 men in total that are sub 30 for 10K, and the women's is equally as exciting. We've got the likes of Holly Archer and Laren Hall. Danielle Hodgkinson from North East England. Big shout out to Danielle. She's here today and looking to be running well as well, from what I understand. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting race, flat course and closed roads. So now, just to emphasise, like I say, we've got a £1,000 prize fund up for grabs today. As far as I'm aware, it's a £450 if you hit the time bonuses, and also if you £200 just for the win. So like I say, the race winner is £200, the course bonus again £200, so that's £400 in total, and another £250, and eighth is all the way down to eighth. They're paying time bonuses as well for £50 for the men. The men's time is 30 minutes and the women's is 33:15. Also as well, the run-through record bonus, I'm not sure if we'll see that here today. That's £500 for the winner of the men's and the women's each. So they could take home a staggering amount of money here, over £1,000 in total. We've seen that with Ben Connor actually, who ran an absolutely blistering time at the Quayside in Newcastle earlier in the year, where he took away, I think it was around about £1,150 in total. I'm not sure whether we'll see that today on the men's. I think Emil Caress holds the record for that. It's around about 28 high, 28:15. It is a flat course. I'll be honest, one of the flattest courses I think in the country. We're going to come on to that soon, because Chris Parr, the race director, has given us a bit of a quote at some point, which we will come on to talk about how flat the course actually is. But it's a little bit twisty-turny. So yeah, we'll just get onto the leaderboard now as well, and talk you through the standings, because as we said in previous episodes of this race, there is a leaderboard. You get points every time you score from every race, from the 12 race standing. The leader of the men's at the minute is Omar Ahmed, and 75 points, of course it is. We've got Ben Connor, 68 points. Samuel Selassie in third at 65 points. And we've got even the likes of Full Sesamins in there. Whether we'll see him again, I don't think he's going to score, because you have to have 3 runs in total throughout the series to be able to qualify for the overall prize at the end of the series. Women's is led by Alexandra Bell. Alex Bell, I mean, whether or not we'll see her at Ribble Valley, I hope so. It would be nice to see her out there. Brogan Wallace in second for 40 points. And Camilla McNeesby, I always get Camilla's name slightly incorrect, so I do apologise if you do see this. 37 points with Jess Gibbon in fourth and 25 points. So, like I say, the points are awarded at each stage throughout the year. So 25 points for the winner, all the way down to 10th place, where you are awarded points as well, and it's three races in total. Throughout the year that you can score points on. You must compete in 3 events throughout the year to be able to be in the firing line to be able to receive the prize money at the end of the year. So in terms of races to come, we've got the Ribble Valley, like I say, next month, which is the finale. And I think if you remember last year, it was James West who took the victory there. It's always one of the biggest races of the year, on the racing calendar for people. I remember speaking to my friend Tom Boardman last year, who, to be honest, he's rarely on the racing scene now. He just has suffered from a lot of injuries. But he's talked to me and said that he's prepared to come out of retirement to run at Ribble Valley. It's on the 28th of December, like I say, final race of the year. So if you're thinking about coming out and watching any of the races, I would recommend watching that on the 28th of December. And in terms of the athletes who are here today, we've got an absolutely fantastic women's and men's field. I'm really looking forward to this one, actually. Like I say, the men's, we had 15 people, I think, I counted, who ran under 30 minutes. In terms of the females, we've got the likes of Laren Hall, 32-39 runner at best, Holly Archer, European silver medalist over 1500 meters and 33-27 at her best, back in the same training group that she was when she won that European silver medal. Is training for high rocks now, she told me. I did speak to her before the race, and she said she's in okay shape, and she's just going to see how the race plays out and see what other people sort of position themselves and go from there. She's very experienced. I'm sure she'll be fine with that. You've got Ruby Woolfe, 33-40. Laura Boehm in 34.59, and we've also got a debut run, and this is from Inca Padfield. From what I've understand, she's in good shape. She's been out in Dubai, I think, and an avid cyclist as well. So a bit like we've seen some success recently of runners using their cycling cross training and competing at the top level. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how she gets on. In terms of the men's side, for our leading entries, we've also got the likes of the one and only, obviously I keep saying the one and only because he seems to turn out and churn out these races month in, month out. Omar Ahmed, back again, 28-27, looking to hit that podium. Jacob Allen, 28-33, international athlete, multiple-time international athlete. Really good to see him back at his best as well. Josh Grace, another fantastic operator, as Big Red likes to say. 28-59 at his best. We've got Ian Crowe-Wright, 28, another sub-29 runner, 28.59 at his best as well. Sam Stabler here, 29.09. Good to see Sam back. Sam's running well again. Jonathan Escalante-Phillip, just to name another one, 29.19. Honestly, I could go on and on here. We've got Seifu Jamal as well, 29.12, sub 30 minutes this year. We've got the likes of George Grassley as well. I know George personally from university. Currently working in finance, Mr. Finance Bro himself, in great shape again, sub 30 minutes, looking forward to speak to him before the race. He's looking for around about 29 highs, so I think he'll definitely feature for quite a lot of the race actually, and I would definitely say he's got a good real chance here of being in the top 5 in a real quality field. He did solo a 65-minute half recently actually in Oxford as well the other month, so he's in good shape. So, you know, for context, we've got, like I say, the Chris Parr has stated, and we're going to, I think we can get on that at some point. We can talk about the quote he did actually send us, and I'll read that out to you now. I'd be willing to bet that there isn't a flat of 10 kilometres anywhere in the UK in Chris Parr style. Pairing that with the strength and depth of the field, we're going to see an incredible race in the penultimate event of the 2025 race calendar, and that's the race director Chris Parr. And he isn't wrong. You know, I think that's a bold statement. He does know. He wouldn't just put that out there if he didn't really think he meant it. But I think the limiting factor of this course will be the twists and turns, and I think you'll see that we're kind of going past Stamford Bridge, the home of Chelsea Football Club. But there is, like I say, a lot of turning here. There's not a lot of straight running, so you will see that the kind of moving around the different roads around Chelsea and Fulham. So it is flat, and I think this may suit a few of the guys who very much are good at the likes of cross country. So I would say that, you know, Jacob Allen, I've heard he's in phenomenal form. Omar Ahmed, we already know, phenomenal form. Jonathan Escalante-Phillip, according to Josh Grace, is in great form, and so is Ian Crowe-Wright. I know that Josh said is at the minute he's training with Ian Crowe-Wright after a stint of being in America at New Mexico. He came back, and I think he was training at one point with 2022 World 1500 meter champion Jake Whiteman, and this year 2023 silver medalist over the 1500 meters again at the World Championships. I really thought he was going to win that. What a run indeed. Really had me on the edge of my seat. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great race. I think that I would be very surprised if we don't have, you know, most people probably a good. I think I'd be surprised if we don't have a good solid group of people there all the way until probably at least 7 kilometres, to be honest. But again, it totally depends on how the race pans out as we move through the streets of Fulham. But looks like I already we're away. God, I was yabbering onto myself quite a lot there. I did kind of lost track of time. But yeah, 9 o'clock's hit. The race is away. You can already see the quite nice quaint roads, flat as a pancake, going around Fulham. Another person I didn't mention actually, and I'm excited to see, is Dan Studley. He's on the start list. I hope he is running. I'm sure he will be. He did mention it to me. I was with him. I actually went for a run with him a few weeks ago. Coached by Matt Seddon, along with the Oxford boys. He's doing a great job with the Oxford guys at the minute, and some really strong operators there, and some real good form from Matt's group. So I'm excited to see how Dan is. It's good to see him getting back to his best. He's at his best, a 29.15 runner. You know, he's raced a couple of times this year. I looked at his power return actually previously before logging on, and you know, so there is some absence there in his racing in terms of the last few years. He's only raced 4 times this year, and again, 5 times the previous year. But when he gets back down to his best, you know, he has a real chance of smashing that 30-minute barrier. So I think he'll be looking to just keep on improving and being a monster mix. But so do see him feature as we get through the race. Now it does look as if, to me, it looks like Sam Stabler's actually at the front straight away, which I'm quite surprised about. I thought he might want to sit in, but I know that Sam personally, he's a good friend of mine. He's starting to reel his form back in, and I think today for him the main goal is to come out and have a hard run and move his fitness on. So that'll be why he's probably thought, you know what, I'm going to go to the front, make sure it's an honest pace. Because I think sometimes when you're just coming back from long-term injury, I think, and I know this personally myself, is the races really do bring you on. Particularly if you just have a hard run out. You know, I ran at Cardiff a few weeks ago, and it was my first opening race of the year, and after taking a bit of a break. And you know, what was important for me is actually having a hard run out of it as well. You know, sometimes when you're moving on with your fitness and you're not quite in peak form yet, you know, you want to run well on the race, but you also want to get something out of the race, and the best way to do that is to make sure that you stretch it out earlier on and have an honest race, and that will hopefully bring your fitness on. So 65 minutes he ran at Manchester half. And actually one of the first races he's finished in a long time, so good to see him back. I didn't notice that George Grassley, another guy I'd mentioned at the start, another friend of mine, is at the front, again looking in that Belgrave Harriers vest. He's looking to have a good solid run here. But Omar Ahmed just looks to be tucked in at the behind Sam at the minute, which is an interesting move. I'm assuming he's probably going to try and sit and then try and kick away near the end and try and turn the screw and wind it up. But he's not going to have it his own way today, I can tell you that right now. You know, like I say, we've had Omar, we've got Jacob Allen, Josh Grace, Ian Crowe-Wright, Seifu Jamal, Studley's in there, Jonathan Collier's in there. We've got Mark Bostock in there as well, another quality operator. James Hancock in there from Belgrave Harriers, another Belgrave runner. They're all quite bunched up now, and I would, like I say, what I said before, we're just going past Stamford Bridge, but I would expect to see pretty much most of these athletes, unless somebody hits the front early on and really turns the screw. I think we'll see a big bunch of them there, really all the way through halfway, and just chilling. It's just like George Grassley at the front now, just chilling. It doesn't look too fast, to be honest. You can just see him bouncing along, going past the Chelsea Football Club grounds. I'm just trying to work out who is that. I'm not sure. I think that's Josh Grace in the pink colours of Puma there. Just settling in. Now, I'm not too sure who that is with the cap on. I almost thought at one point, I thought it was Dougie Musser, but I think I would know if he was in the race because they would have been told about that before. But the only reason I say that is that I sometimes see Dougie with his cap on when he's running. He's kind of his trademark now. But you can just see Omar now starting to hit the front, but it again doesn't seem to be too interested in pushing the pace on. I think he's just quite comfortable. I think he's one of those runners who he prefers to be at the front. He feels most comfortable there, feels like he's dictating the pace and running his own race. And I think, you know, when you're a highly aerobic runner, I think that, you know, just dictating the pace to what you feel is comfortable enough for you and can fit your racing strategy is often the best call. You know, you say on the outside there, you can just see Josh Grace in the pink colours of Puma, like I said before. You know, Josh is in good shape this year. 29.02 for Valencia, 6th in Battersea at the Top Flight Series 5K in June, 14:09 late season as well, and for 5K this year, so recently, and also he ran 65:01 Copenhagen. And I'm not too sure if Josh was doing a bit of a pacing job in Copenhagen, but I think 65:01 doesn't really do it justice for the athlete that he is. I think, you know, when he's in his good foot, when he's in good shape, he would pretty much smash that to pieces. So we're just at the women's race now. Like I say, it is hard to get to the front and work out. It's hard to get in amongst the females and get a front view because, like I said, the riders are amongst the pack. So we will get more coverage as the race sort of unfolds and it stretches out more, and the bike can kind of slot in front of our leading female athletes, and we can bring you more of that. But like I said, George Grassley at the front there, just very keen to keep it moving. Like I say, he told me he was looking for low 29 minutes. He looks very comfortable, actually. He has a very nice, long, bouncy stride. I do like that about George. He's very smooth when he runs. But the rest of the guys are not really too interested right now. I think, to be honest, at this stage, with it being a bit of a twisty, turny course, it looks to me like they're all kind of there to race it. The time is probably slightly irrelevant today. You can already see the twists and turns that they're having to go around as they move through the fields. Sam Stabler's still up there in the blue vest, in the blue vest of the run-through vest. I think that is a run-through vest. You just see there Jacob Allen as well, just tucked in the white and orange vest. The Highgate Harrier himself, he's in good form. We've seen him feature at the Manchester half. He was in great shape. I think he was just behind Omar Ahmed there, as far as I'm aware. Oh. No, sorry, I'm getting muddled up with Jonathan Escalante-Phillip here. I do apologise. But yeah, no, he is in good form. He ran 14:20 at the Home Nations 5K there, but he hasn't raced since he ran a half marathon in 64:46. Now, at his best, you know, for these races, you know, he's a 62-minute runner last year at half marathon. He's ran 2:27 for the marathon this year. I would expect him, in all honesty, when that was in London, I would expect Jacob at his best to be running a lot quicker than that. He's definitely got the potential there. He like I say, he's run for Great Britain actually over the cross, so he's a strong runner. I think he's a teacher now actually in London, so I can imagine trying to balance that alongside his running. He's doing a great job of that at the minute. But you can just see now there's a bit of a move here from Omar Ahmed. This is quite a surge actually in a very short space of time, but I can imagine the best thing that the guys can do now, excuse me, the likes of Jacob Allen, is just not get too carried away with the surges, because we have seen this before with Omar, and reel them back really over the next couple of 100 metres. You don't really want that spike in lactate that's going to be lingering through your legs and your body. The best way to combat things like this is just to gradually increase your pace and gradually to bring Omar back. I think, to be honest, I've said this before when I've been watching Omar, I think he does like to test the fields out a little bit just to see who's going to respond. If no one responds, then I think he'll keep pushing the pace. But I think you could imagine these are really good, like this is a very, very good field indeed, particularly with the guys. And I can imagine that it looks like Jacob's kind of doing the work to reel him back in for the rest of the pack. And then the rest of the pack are just hanging on at the minute to Jacob. But there's so many. The thing with this course is I think it's almost better to be at the front and controlling it, because you are turning around so much when you're going around these corners, these bends, and you can take a few strides out of people when you're really going around these bends at a decent pace. And just for the first time in those trademark bright shorts, you can just see Jonathan Escalante-Phillip must have sensed the danger of Omar, because he seems to have hit the front of the pack, and he's now took over the chasing pack of Omar Ahmed. But he has took a lot of ground. He has took a good 20 metres out of everyone, but the gap is starting to close. I can see Escalante-Phillip seems to be realising the danger and doesn't really want Omar to get away too much, because we've seen before Omar is in good shape and he is a sub 29 minute runner at his best. I mean, last year there was numerous times we've seen him going under 29 minutes. So when you let a runner like Omar get away, it can be a little bit dangerous. You don't really want to let him get too far away, because the thing with him is that he does maintain that pace. So you're going to have to work extra hard towards the end of the race when you're already fighting for energy to try and reel him back in. It's kind of better to really kind of reel him back in now as soon as possible, and then you can jump on the back and let him do some of the work. So like I say, here we are. Escalante-Phillip has sensed the danger. He has pulled away from the rest of the pack, but Omar's clearly sensed that nobody was coming with him and thought, you know what, I'm away. If you want to catch me, you're going to have to put some extra energy in there. And this is the danger, you know, if you're sitting in the pack and you switch off and someone hits the front like Omar's just done there, and he pulls away, you know, whilst you're not really operating at full energy, you're then going to have to run that even bit faster than he's already operating at now, which is a fast pace, which is why he's gapped people to try and reel him back in, and that will take it out of you. And that's why it's such a smart move to keep it going. Josh Grace there in the pink, the Puma colours. He has also sensed the danger by the looks of things, and he's not willing to let the pack sort of reel themselves back in. I'm not sure whether the guys at the back have thought, you know what, this is quite a crazy pace right now. This is not the shape I'm in. I think when you're running a 5K, you can probably get away with it and taking a bit of a risk in a gamble and just jumping on the back for a really fast pace, because you're only running for 13, 14 minutes. But when you're running along the streets of Fulham for a total of around about 30 minutes, the last thing you want to be doing is overcooking it in the first 3K. But like I say, Escalante-Phillip looks pretty comfortable there actually. Shoulders nice and relaxed, smooth running style. I tell you what, he has a kick. He's got a dangerous kick. He's very, very dangerous over the last 800 metres of a race on the roads. We've seen what he did to Elfie Manthorpe last year in the 5K at Battersea Park. That was a phenomenal change of pace. And just to give you guys a bit of an idea where we were with the splits, and George Grassley did lead them through the first 2K. We went through in about 5:53, 2:56 per K pace. You know, that's still 29 and a half minutes. And you know, Josh Grace was amongst there as well. We had Tom Boehm, Sam Stabler in amongst there, Escalante-Phillip, so we can see on the screen. We had Jacob Allen in there amongst there, Sarif in there as well, Harry Smith, Andrew Penny, Ian Crowe-Wright amongst there, Jonathan Collier, and in terms of the women's as well, Holly Archer seems to be at the front there and leading the pack. 33.5 minute pace, should I say, 3:21 per K through the first 2K. Inca Padfield as well was amongst there, just sat behind Holly Archer in 6:44. Another few seconds back to that, a predicted pace of 34:22. We had Ella Burfitt as well. So it looks like the females are operating at around about 33:37 at the minute, and it looks to me like, I'm just trying to work out from the screen who we can actually see there from the number, because like I say, I think it doesn't help that this is a bit of a twisty turny course, because it is hard for the course to probably for the people to string out, but you will see that happen as time goes on. Looks like I'm not sure if I'm actually seeing that correctly, but that looks to be we will get back to you on that. I think that might be Inca Padfield who's in the lead though. Well, this is taking a bit of a turn here, and it seems to be familiar all over again here in the men's race. It looks to me as if Escalante-Phillip has now hit the lead. I can imagine that looks to me like Omar's been caught, and he has slowed down a little bit and just let Jonathan take the reins and hit the front and do a bit of the work. But I'll be honest, I think Escalante-Phillip is a very experienced runner, so I'd expect him to just be maintaining his pace as he runs through the field. But it looks like Josh Grace has caught them as well. It looks to me like Jacob Allen as well is also going to be joining the group here. So there's going to be a group of 4 here working together. And this is starting to look very familiar indeed. There's a few familiar faces from the Manchester half. Escalante-Phillip's, like I said, he is in good shape at the minute. Josh Grace did tell me that he was running well. Manchester half, he was 62.48 at Manchester half of 4th place, so he is in good shape. But the good thing about Escalante-Phillip is that he has got that kick at the end of the race, and he has got incredible endurance as well at the moment. So I think I would expect him to feature very much so in the latter final stages of the race. And then you have Omar Ahmed, who was only a few seconds ahead of him at Manchester, at the half marathon as well, 62.44 for the Manchester half. In 3rd place, he came there. And to be honest with you, from what I understand and from what I remember, Escalante-Phillip really was running him down like a train in the latter stages of the race at Manchester. So maybe he's learned from that and he's thought, you know what, I can't let Omar get away because I had enough energy to be able to catch him in the last part of the race. This is it becomes tactical, potentially when you're going round the twists and turns of Fulham. You can't let people get ahead of you and trying to rein that, because the momentum you have going around these bends, it does slow you down just a little bit. So it's not the same as running on somewhere like a city centre like Manchester, where you have long stretches of roads where you can really pick the pace up and keep that momentum going. So it is the right move for these boys to have reeled Omar in. And Jacob Allen, like I say, he just looks to be hitting the front a little bit now, taking some of the pace. I don't know if these guys are going to slightly work together a little bit. But Jacob Allen just seems to be happy to hit the front right now. He must be feeling good. Whether they've actually slowed or not, we will find that out at some point soon. But yeah, it won't be long before we get the splits for that. And just a split screen there. It looks like, I think that looks to me like it must be Inca who's leading the race there. Inca Padfield. She is no, sorry, my bad. I thought it is Laren Hall who's is at the front. She wasn't appearing on the results before. I don't know why. And like I say, it is hard for me. I can't see the front of the runners. I wasn't able to see who it was. So I do apologise to Lauren, but she is just in front at the minute. Well, I said just in front. She's actually 30 seconds ahead. 16.28 through 5K. That is rapid. That is extremely quick. 32.56 predicted. So we will be looking to see where that looks to be a pretty good time. She is coached by Mick Woods. Shouts out to Mick. Spoke to Mick briefly at Cardiff the other week, last week, and had a brief catch up with him. Seems to be in good spirits. But yeah, the older shot athlete is. Oh no, she's coached by Tim Eglin. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I do apologise, Tim. I'm getting muddled up with Ruby. So yeah, coached by Tim Eglin. Shout out to Tim. Lauren was 4th in the Great South, 10 and 56 minutes. Wokingham half marathon champion as well in 74.30. So she's in good form. PB of 32.39. So she is actually she's on for just outside that at the minute, but that could change very quickly throughout the race. We're only halfway through here, so and she has got herself into a good group of athletes there. There's a guy just in front of her. The best thing she could do is, and we often see in the female athletes in these races, is they do tend to hang on the back of some of the guys, and then as the latter stages of the races goes on, we do tend to see the female athletes working their way through the field, really motoring through, and I think that's probably testament to the fact that you've got to remember the females that we're seeing on the screen are elite athletes, and they're very good at pacing their races, and I can imagine that they go off at the pace that they know that they can sustain, and they manage to sustain that as the race goes on. And we see some of the guys maybe dropping off and dropping their form, and it already looks like she has gotten past two guys who we've seen previously. But she looks fairly relaxed. You know, shoulders aren't rocking too much. The guys, it looks like Jacob Allen's still happy to hit the front. We're at 6-7 kilometres here, so we've only got just under 3k left. Around about probably 8 or 9 minutes of running. Nothing too long. So I think this is going to come down probably to the final 1 kilometres. In all honesty, these guys are really operating at. We're operating at a pretty fast pace early on, 29:28, and that did pick up. And the guys behind them, you've got to remember, we had 15 people who have run under 30 minutes. So to be that far ahead already at this point in the race shows to me that suggests that they're in pretty good form. But we have got the 5k splits coming up at some point shortly. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be loading. Females, like I say, they've loaded. Holly Archer looks to be on for a 33:59 at the minute. She did tell me that she thought she was in around about 34.5 shape. So that's she is training for high rocks at the minute. So she's kind of dual balancing both, and I think this is probably going to complement her high rocks fitness. But to be in that kind of shape when she's training for high rocks is pretty promising, I won't lie. Inca Padfield 33:55 projected time. Whether or not we'll see the strength that's been comes through from the cycling towards the end of the race or not, I don't know. I would imagine so. Like I say, I did hear through the grapevines that she was out training in Dubai for a little bit in the warm weather, and was going pretty well. And but yeah, we'll soon find out when the splits load later in the race. Here we go. This looks like the guys' race is starting to unfold a little bit more. Escalante-Phillip seems to be keen on pushing the pace now and not leaving it to the final part of the race. Josh Grace, I tell you what, that is very interesting. He does look very relaxed in there. He's just been sat subtly at the back of the pack, making sure he was tucked in. And I'll be honest, I think he looks in good form. I think I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes with him. He just seems to be running his own race here, happy to latch on the back and let the other guys do some of the work. And Escalante-Phillip really is trying to string this out here. The guys are in single file as they go around one of this next bend. But Omar Ahmed looks poised to attack. I would be very shocked if Omar doesn't hit the front at some point very, very soon. We do like to see, he does like to seem to be the type to turn the screw from around about 2k out. But Jacob Allen again seems to be in fine form at the minute and doesn't seem to be looking like he's working too hard right now. I'll be honest, I think we've got less than 2k left to go. We've got around about just over a mile of running left, and Omar Ahmed has hit the front here. You know, we're going around the bend now. That's a big surge. That's a big gap to be opening up for this caliber of athletes. But this is obviously what his move. He's decided this is where he's going to try and take the race on. And Escalante-Phillip doesn't seem to be able to respond. But I think the question is, has he gone too hard, too early? I mean, based off of what we've seen in the past, I would say probably not. But Escalante-Phillip, I'll be honest, that gap's closing again. And I tell you what, if you're going to make a surge like this, you really need to keep this pace going. You cannot let athletes get back in, because I tell you what, you're going to put that amount of lactate in your legs and let somebody else, after doing all of that work, come and reel you back in over the next couple of 100 meters. That is a dangerous territory to be in, particularly over the last 1500 meters with someone like Escalante-Phillip on your back, because he has got an engine at the end of a race that is pretty unmatched when we've seen it from what we've seen from these races. He's probably one of the last people you want on your shoulder going into the final 1 kilometer of a 10k race. But it looks there as if Laren Hall is still going through. I mean, she's motoring through this field. I did say to you earlier in the race that you would expect to see her start to move through the field, picking people off, gaining that momentum. And, you know, it does look as if that does seem to be the case here. But Omar Ahmed, again, that gap again looks to be opening up again, to be honest. it's definitely bigger than when we last seen on the screen. He's again, clearly he's thought, I'm not going to let this Escalante-Phillips be on my back here. That gap's just getting bigger and bigger. He's motoring along here. And I think the key thing as well is that when you go around these bends, you really need to take the inside line, because some people, they go around wide. I don't know if you've seen there, but Escalante-Phillip seemed to come around the bend quite wide there. Omar seems to be doing the right thing and cutting through the corner. And to be honest, the more you do that, particularly in a course like this, the more you can take out of the athletes. Back to Laren Hall here, looks to be absolutely flying through the course. And we'll see if we can get some more splits for you at some point. But she is, I'll be interested to see where she is on the course and how far she is and her projected time, because she was on for sub 33 minutes. And, you know, it does look as if she's starting to rock a little bit, but she isn't slowing down. If you look at the guy in front, it's a good measure to see whether or not she's actually slowing down, whether or not the gap's getting bigger or getting smaller. And to be honest, it is getting smaller. So I think she's maintaining this pace. I think she's actually moving through the field and running quicker. We've only got around about a mile left, I think, for Laren now, but she looks good. She looks as if she's still got the arms are still pumping backwards and forwards. She's not rocking too much. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the splits are going to be when we go through the 7-8 kilometre mark, and that comes up on my screen, because that'll give us more of an idea of what she's what her predicted pace is, and whether she's picked the pace up, or whether she's starting to really feel the hurt of these twisty turny roads in Fulham. The 5 kilometre split, just to let you guys know, for the men's race was 29:18, and just to let you know, I think we have around about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 men on for sub 30 minutes. In all honesty, possibly more. Sam Stabler's there, we're looking for a sub 30 minutes. It would be a great run for him. George Grassley in there for 29.5 minutes. That would be an absolutely fantastic run. Alex Milne as well, also looking for 29.5. It looks like we have around about 6 guys behind the lead pack who are all working together here. And I just want to highlight something as well. It looks to me as if that's Ian Crowe-Wright who's amongst the lead pack as well, not Jacob Allen. I do apologise, Ian. Honestly, the screen I couldn't possibly properly see in the studio. I thought it was Jacob. I do apologise, Ian. So back to the men's race. It looks to me as if our top 4 is Jonathan Escalante-Phillips. We've got Omar Ahmed amongst there. We've got Josh Grace amongst there too. But it looks to me as if Omar Ahmed is really stretching this out. We're coming into now the final 400 metres of the race, 27:57. I think we're going to be just shy of the sub 29-minute barrier here for Omar Ahmed. It looks to be daylight between him and Jonathan Escalante-Phillips. He is not slowing down. He's put the last 2 kilometres. I did expect him to kind of put a bit of a surge in. I didn't think it would be as effective as that. It just shows how easy he must have really been, or how comfortable he was to be able to run away from a field like that, to run away from someone like Escalante-Phillips and Josh Grace and Ian Crowe-Wright, who are all extremely good international athletes, by the way, and are all in pretty good form right now. It'd be interesting to see. I'll be honest, I would like to see him over the cross. I would like to see how he does over the cross. Obviously, he won't be in Liverpool, but it'd be nice to see how he could do over that, because he's really good at kind of crunching away and really grinding away on his own at the front of the race. And it looks to me like Laren Hall is still moving through the field as well. But we'll just keep ourselves on with the men's race for now, because we are coming into the final few hundred metres. You can just see the finish line coming, but it looks to me as if Escalante-Phillips isn't done here. This might be a repeat of Manchester. It's just, but I think, to be honest, the line is going to come, and it's going to be Omar Ahmed who takes the Fulham 10K. Great running there, Omar, and it looks like Escalante-Phillips just left it a little bit too late, and same with Josh Grace as well. Just a little bit too late for them. Looks around about 29:15-ish for Omar Ahmed, around about 29, but I would say probably 29:18-ish and 29:20 for Josh Grace and Sam Stabler there. Oh my God, 29.30. These guys have picked it up. It looks like George Grassley coming along the line there as well. That is some fantastic running. What a run from Sam Stabler too as well to come back to form. I tell you what, he really was debating on whether or not he would run this race. I did speak to him earlier in the week, and he was telling me he wasn't sure whether he'd even be here. But you know, he was depending on whether or not he does suffer sometimes from some injuries, which do reoccur. And yeah, he decided to race in the end, and I'll tell you what, it was worth a trip to Fulham. What a run indeed. Great running from Josh Grace as well. I'll be honest with you, he looked very comfortable. I was saying to you, with guys with about 2 kilometers to go, he really looked comfortable. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. You know, whether or not he left it a little bit too late or not, I don't know. Well, I think, to be honest, those guys will be kicking themselves a little bit for letting Omar go and really not just hanging on as much as possible. But when you're operating at that kind of pace, I don't know whether Omar just slowed down or not, but I think, to be honest, it did look as if the cadence of Escalante-Phillip was picking up there at the end of the race. Back to the women's though, it looks like Laren Hall is still motoring through. I think it looks like she's caught another one of the guys. I think we're on for a pretty big time here for Laren Hall, and we'll get her splits on. We're just going through. Unfortunately, it is not coming up with Lauren's splits, so I do apologise that. What I will say is that the Inca Padfield, who was around about 30 seconds behind last time, is on for 33.5 minutes. So I would expect Lauren to still be on for that sub 33 at this moment in time. Last couple of minutes of running for her really possibly last around about 90 seconds. So we're probably talking of about just over 500 meters left in this field. But I tell you what, she is flying here right now. She's had this guy, I think she's been tracking this guy now in front of her for around about 5K, and she's not let him out of her sight. She's done the right thing. She's running her own race, and she is absolutely flying. She's destroyed this field here actually, and she's clearly in very good shape. You know, so big shout out to Tim Eglin there. He's doing a great job with Lauren. You can only, you know, as an athlete myself, you can only begin to understand the amount of work that goes into performances like this. And clearly Tim and Lauren have found something that's working, because this is a great performance. And to take apart a field of this kind of quality, you know, Inca is in great shape. I've seen she's run a really good 5K. She was slightly faster than Lauren going into this over 5K, but I did see that Lauren had run a really good, great South run, 10 miler in 56 minutes and a 74.5. But at this rate, the pace that she's going at and the form she's in, you'd expect her to be able to maybe move that form on and keep improving as the winter season goes on. And what a place to do this on the roads of Fulham today. She's really took this field apart. Well, you can just see the finish now. She's starting to come in. She can sense the finish coming along. What a run. Well done, Laren Hall, taking the Fulham 10K here on a lovely autumn's day. I think it's autumn, or is it winter? I don't know. Probably should have looked that one up. But anyway, what a day. It looks like a great conditions down there. You can see the leaves dropping onto the ground. What a run from Laren Hall there. I'll get you the time to come up. You can just see there. It looks to me like she's finished 33.04, so just outside that 33-minute barrier. But I tell you what, she held that pace. She was on for around about just under 33 minutes halfway through the race. So she's really consistently run there and took a huge, I think she's a huge chunk off her season's best.
Hercules, Wimbledon, well done to you. There goes Callum and Dan and Tom and Inca as well. Well done to you all.
And we'll just look for the second place finisher for the female race come through soon. Yeah, it is a big chunk off her season's best indeed. 33.15 was her personal her season's best this year, and it looks to be just outside her personal best from last year of 32.39. But to be honest with you, it is flat and it is fairly fast, but the amount of twists and turns, like I say, is hard to keep your momentum here. So I think that's a fantastic run. I think that's an amazing run. 33.45 for Inca Padfield as well. Great running from Inca. sure she'll be happy with that. Looks like Holly's came in at 34 minutes dead. Great running from Holly. Puts her in good stead for her high rocks that she's got coming up, and good luck to her. It's great to see Holly back on the start line and getting into some good form. Be great to see Holly again. I'm not sure if we'll see Holly indoors this year if she's running high rocks, but juggling the two, just trying her best to enjoy it. She does do a bit of self-coaching as well, but when she did say that when she's building back into her race, she aiming for certain races, then she does tend to move back into her setup with Andrew and get some advice from him, and clearly that works. European silver medal. Ella Burfitt as well, 35 minutes dead.
Very, very good stuff. Have you got a sprint finish in you for those final 50 metres or so? We're all cheering you on along the
I've just received, God, that's so funny. I've just received a message from Joe Wigford. I don't actually know what he said there, right? He said, I thought I would give you a helping hand there. He just messaged me saying that. I don't know what he said because I haven't seen the chat of the YouTube. I'm assuming he's probably said, I'm assuming he's probably said that I was naming Jacob Allen wrong and I was misnaming Ian. I'll keep you guys posted what Joe was actually saying. Oh, I do apologise. I do apologise to Ian about that. I'm in a studio basically for context, and it can be hard to see on the screen at times to actually get the numbers. So I think we'll put this out there as a shout out to the race director Chris Parr going into 2026. Let's get race bib numbers with the names on. That's the goal. I'm looking forward to seeing that, if that does actually come through. But yeah, just to run you through the men's results again. Omar Ahmed first in 29.16 dead. Jonathan Escalante-Phillip's really running him down. That was very similar to Manchester actually, and I thought he may have went with Omar when he had that break. I think it would have been a real wise idea if he just thought, you know what, go hard or go home, and if I die, I die, and just try and hang on as long as possible. Like I say, it is easier said than done just to hang on the back of someone when they put a surge in like that. But he's in real good form at the minute, clearly. Josh Grace as well, 29.20. Ian Crowe-Wright also training alongside Josh at the minute, 29.33. Sam Stabler just behind him, 29.34. That's a real step forward for Sam. We were talking the other week, and I was saying to him, you know, if I could give you any advice of getting back, from my opinion, it would be to get in races and just, you know, use them as stepping stones, build that momentum and keep going, because it breaks up the training as well, right? Like you can, when you're coming back from long-term injury like Sam is at the moment, I think it's often difficult to put yourself on the start line and swallow your pride and accept that, you know, you're not in the form you probably want to be. But races really build your momentum, and I think if anything that's proven today from 65 minutes. He threw up as he went across the line in Manchester, but I told him, you know, just finish the race no matter what. He did, and look at that, he's moved on. Let's see what we... Oh, no, I thought that was Wiggers messaging me back, but it's not. Rafe Sarif in there as well, 29.40. Harry Smith, 29.41. All really coming through here all together. I actually can't see George Grassley on these results, but I know for a fact he came through in around about 29.5 minutes as well. Andrew Penny, 29.47. Alex Milne, 29.55. And then Harry Bell just outside there in 30.12 to just miss that 30-minute barrier. But I would say looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got over 10 athletes that are under 30 minutes on this course. You know, the race director, Chris Parr, didn't mention that it was, you know, flat as a pancake, probably one of the flattest 10Ks in the country, if not the flattest 10K in the country. So I mean, amongst those twists and turns, to be getting that close to 28 minutes is you know, some serious running there today. I think you know, that's great running as well. Like I say, Laren Hall, very impressive, 33.04. Fantastic running from her. Great to see her running well. Tim doing a great job with her. Same with Inca as well. Good running. I'm sure Inca will be, you know, pretty happy with that. 10K. Seems to be 5Ks more her pedigree, I think, from looking at her results. And like I said, I do apologise if I didn't misname people. Like I say, it is difficult when you're in the studio and you've not got the actual numbers on front of you. Sometimes you can't. These things do happen, and it's I understand it from an athlete's perspective. Being an athlete myself, it can be a little bit frustrating if someone doesn't name you correctly. But yeah, like I say, I do apologise if that was the case. In terms of the prize money, so we do have. I think Omar Ahmed has unlocked that £450 of bonus there, and I think he was just outside his own record, which he set last year in 28.58. So he won't quite have got the extra £200, but there's a nice £450 there for Omar. And to be honest, all top 8 there will have unlocked the qualifying times for sub 30 minutes for a race bonus. So second place there, we had Jonathan Escalante-Phillips on top of his prize money. He's got he's got £200 there for third place 175, fourth place £150, and fifth place all the way down to 8th place we've got prize money there. So that'll help with those guys as well. Nice little incentive. Same with the females as well. Laren Hall has ran that qualifying bonus as well. 33.15 was the qualifying bonus, and she smashed that. So £450 for Laren Hall as well today. Another great run. The course record was a little bit out of touch today, 31.53, which was set here last year. That was pretty rapid. I'm not sure. I think that's actually top flight. As far as I'm aware, that is a top flight record as well. So just to put into perspective how difficult that was to be running that. Oh no, sorry. The top flight record is just slightly faster than that. That's Jess Judd and Ribble Valley 2021. Whew, that is quick. Ribble Valley is not a quick course as well. That is a hilly course. I swear it's just like half uphill, half downhill. It's that's rapid. So yeah, some great running there, some great time bonuses there being unlocked, unleashed there as well. So that's pretty much it for me today. I'm just going to check now if there's any other results came through. Doesn't look to be the case. So just want to thank you all for tuning in today, and yeah, I'm really. I think that was a great run today by Omar Ahmed. Escalante-Phillip running him down all the way to the line. It was a tight one. Josh Grace as well. I'm really impressed with Josh's runs today. I thought that was fantastic, especially if you look at the form that both of those two runners in front of him have today. I mean, they're both 62-minute runners over the last few weeks in Manchester. So I think he'll take away something from that and be really, really, really happy with that run. Same with Samual Stabler and Ian Crowe-Wright. Ian Crowe-Wright and Josh Gray still training together, and clearly that shows that they're both working well together. So really, really positive performances. Over 10 men, sub 30, and on the women's side as well. Laren Hall absolutely nailing that time bonus, walking away with a whopping £450. So well done to Laren, and yeah, thank you very much for you guys for tuning in today. And we look forward to seeing you soon and catching you on the next Top Flight series at Ribble Valley on the 28th of December. Thank you.